Achoo! Moo? Boo! No, don't worry, I've not travelled through a creaky door, sneezed at all the dust before blowing a trumpet, confusing a cow and making the crowd angry. I only do that sort of thing on a Saturday. I was just playing Uproar, the very funny game of silly sounds from Macmillan. It's a super simple but incredibly fun play, suitable for anyone of any age at all, as long as you can read, match words, and most importantly, make amazing noises like surprised cat, meow, or bubbles, or twit twoo. Can you guess what that was? Yeah, that's right, a sad owl. Twit twoo. Oh wait, that wasn't me that time. I am a sad owl. Oh no, why are you sad? Because I'd like to have a go at funny noises too. Oh, okay, go on then. If you go to macmillan.fun and use the code CC4K, you'll get a fancy 10% off the brilliant Uproar game. What sound effect was that? Rubbish podcast host. Oh. As the sad owl, who is rubbish at sound effects, says, head to macmillan.fun and have a look at any of their brilliant, very funny games, including the wonderful Uproar. And if you're listening to this podcast, you can use the code CC4K to get a whole 10% off. Woohoo! I'm a happy owl now. You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid Tiernan is away from his desk at Comedy Club for Kids HQ, where he usually sits amongst all the farting animals, stinky hippos, piles and piles of unused top hats, 3 inflatable bananas, a pot with just 4 beans in it, a squirrel called Stanley, and the traffic cone he shouts into to make the Radio Nonsense podcast, the official Comedy Club for Kids show suitable for all ages from 2 and everything in between. He is currently away at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival doing Comedy Club for Kids shows for people like you, and maybe you, but not you. He is also walking up a lot of hills and complaining that he is walking up a lot of hills. He is seeing how many ice creams it's safe to eat in one day, and he is occasionally waving at people he doesn't actually know just to confuse them. This is a very fun game to play. Just yell, "Hey!" then wave at anyone across the road. If they wave back, just say, "Not you," or "I'm sorry, I thought you were my imaginary friend, Big Henry." It will really confuse them. Please do not play this game with your imaginary friend Big Henry, as it will not work. Psst, Linda, does this sound like an automated voice? I want to pretend I'm not here, Linda. Oh, she must be away as well. Sorry. If your inquiry is about radio nonsense, then please be aware that everything that is said on this show is very silly, and that is that. If you even think about asking a serious question such as, how long does it take to record an episode? Or, can my granny guest star on the show as a singing waffle? Then the answers will always be something like, toot, or 12 to 11. So it's really not worth asking. If, however, you have a joke you'd like to share, something you need to tell us, or a question that you really need answering, then please do get your bassoon-bogeyed flumpers, grown-ups, to help you email us at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. And this week, if you'd like to win a copy of Uproar, the brilliantly fun game of silly sounds from Macmillan, then you need to send in your impression of a toddler tantrum. So that's like in previous week's shows, either an impression of a video game or angry whispering. This week it's a toddler tantrum. Get your bassoon-bogeyed flumpers, grown-ups, to help you record how you think they should sound and send that to our email address. Also, some very exciting news. Woohoo! There is going to be a live Radio Nonsense show at the Southbank Centre in... Sorry, I'm going to use my normal voice for this. At the Southbank Centre in London on October the 26th. So that's during half-term at 2:30pm in the Purcell Room. Tickets are on sale now, and you can find a link in the blurb. It's going to be £12 for adults because they smell, and £9 for children because they smell, but, smaller. Tiernan, who is definitely not here or saying any of this, will be hosting with Athena Cook-Blenu, who you might remember remember has her poo HD and is a doctor of poo, and Jos Norris, who you might remember answered the question about if all the letters of the alphabet were odd or even like numbers, which would be which. They'll be joining me, Tiernan, as will Linda, maybe. Who knows? Linda, are you coming to the show at the South Bank in October, Linda? No idea. It'd be lovely if you came along to ask us questions, but to our faces. Tickets are at the link on this podcast blurb or at southbankcentre.co.uk. If it goes well, we'll try to do more around the country and maybe even wherever you are in the world too. And of course, we've also got normal Comedy Club for Kids gigs all over the place that you can find at comedyclubforkids.co.uk, and you can grab our t-shirts and book at comedyclubforkids.store. Please note, Tiernan is sad that because he is away this week, he will be missing the most importantest bit of the show, but he does hope you will enjoy.
Please leave your message after the tone.
I am very pleased to be joined by returning guest Paul Duncan McGarrity, aka PP Dunky McGarry, aka the Bubble Tea Upsetter, or as he's known to the inhabitants of Western Friesland, Dancerus van der Ditolf Mager. But of course, all of our listeners will know you as the man who has the world's quietest yodel, 12-time winner of the most impressive aerial hoop display while on the ground, and of course, for being the pioneer of the groundbreaking A keyboard, where every letter has been replaced to be just A for efficiency purposes. Paul, it is lovely to have you back on the show. How are you doing?
It's an absolute pleasure to be back, and let me just say, yodel-hoo.
Oh my goodness. I didn't want to ask you to do it because I know, some people get bored, like singers get bored of doing the big song every time, but I am honoured that you would do that on the show.
No, it's absolutely my pleasure. Honestly, if you ever want me to do a silent yodel, just imagine you've heard it. That's how quiet it is.
Oh my goodness. Could we? Is that okay if we...
Yeah, absolutely. At any time you want to hear my yodel, just think about it. Right there, that's me doing it.
That's amazing. And so if any of the listeners listening to this imagine your yodel, you will be there doing it silently.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually me doing the yodel that you're imagining. I'm a very powerful wizard.
I was going to say, because is that not exhausting? I mean, it's wonderful, but it must be exhausting.
It's terrible. I really shouldn't have told people, because now I'm just going to be spending all my time. The thing is, I actually have to take time out of my day. It's not like I can do it in the background. I'm in the middle of a meal. Hang on. Yodel-hoo. Sorry, there was someone thinking about me.
Was it the case where, because if you didn't tell anyone, no one would know, but it's obviously such a good skill to have, you had to tell someone. And
It got out. It was sort of like I'd kept it inside for years, and I think it was I was playing golf with my dad, and he shouted 4, and I yodeled in his head. You know what dads are like; they're proud of any skill. He was off all around the golf club, and golf clubs are a nest of gossips.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, can I just check, just to rewind a bit, because I don't really know much about golf. You shout 4 regardless of what number you're at, don't you? So even if you're at number 12, you shout 4, which is really confusing. So you don't shout any of the other numbers.
It's to confuse the other players.
Right.
Because you only hit 1 ball out, they're looking for 3 more, you're managing to get some more shots in.
That's clever, isn't it? So I suppose that's why, of course, they gossip. They've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. You should see how they get the gossip out there, right? You know, when they're stood, just hitting balls, they've written the message on those balls. Those are going off everywhere. Miles and miles. People are picking up golf balls and going, oh, she never did.
That's amazing. What a brilliant way of sending a message. And also it's interesting because some people get quite angry when, say, a golf ball flies through their window or, sort of breaks a bit of their car off or something. But actually, they've had first-class delivery gossip.
Oh, yeah. You look at that golf ball, it's probably going to say on it, sorry, I broke your window.
Wow. That would be like an amazing magic trick and an expensive one. But very
very annoying. Very annoying.
Yes, wow! I had no idea that golfers had. I mean, I knew they had skills because I know they've got to. Sometimes they've got to use a bigger club or a smaller club, and that's. I mean, I don't even know. In my head, I'd always just use the biggest one possible, send it into space, and then go, "Look at that! I've won."
Yeah. Absolutely massive one. Yeah, the Eiffel Tower, biggest golf club in the world.
Is that right? And am I right in thinking that
if you were to use it, because I think there's a flag above one of the craters on the moon, isn't that right? With a
Yeah.
little hole with number like 1.
That's right. Yeah. It's actually it's a perfectly designed golf club. Everyone thinks it's the one head, but if you actually think about it, Eiffel Tower's got 4 feet. How many balls can you hit with it?
4. Oh my goodness.
There you go.
I mean, this is already such an educational podcast. I wasn't expecting this, but that is absolutely fascinating. The international sort of, what would you say, sort of universe scale golf? Is that what that would be? And
Universe, yeah. It's how people think the planets ended up where they are. We're just waiting for someone. They've got a shot lined up between Earth and the moon, and someone's just going to come along and whoop.
Yeah, and into a black hole, I'd assume, which is, of course, a large sort of golf hole.
A big golf loop, I believe it's called. A golf loop.
Is that what it's called? Is that because does it just sort of, just goes on forever?
Yeah, it gets turned into spaghetti in the middle.
Oh wow, well, that's it's quite an exciting way to get your dinner. I'd have thought if you you're hungry,
all spaghetti
you're playing golf,
falls through a tiny black hole in Italy, comes out spaghetti.
I did wonder that it sometimes has that kind of flavour, really sort of universal flavour. But it must be very worrying for those chefs of, like, if you don't clean up properly, you leave the hole out and about, suddenly you've lost half your kitchen.
Yeah. That's actually how a lot of restaurants in Italy close. Is they'll shut the door and someone will go, "Have you turned off the black hole?" And they go, "No." Whole restaurants disappeared into it, gone into a quantum singularity.
But hilariously turned into spaghetti, then probably snaffled by another restaurant.
Yeah.
And you don't understand that what you've got on your plate is
I've actually heard there are some chefs that do break in and open other restaurants' black holes up just to get more spaghetti and to get rid of the competition.
Well, that's some outrage. Did you hear this at the golf club?
Well, I'm not going to say where I heard it, but
sure.
when it hit me, it really hurt my head.
I knew it. I mean, it sounded like prime gossip. I had to guess.
When I finally woke up and picked the ball up that had struck me, I was like, "Oh, restaurant."
It's great. I really should hang around sort of golf courses more often. I don't often do that. I once tried to build a load of sandcastles in one of the bunkers, but I got told off, so I had to leave.
Yeah, that's very real because they can't do it. That's it. Golfers, bad architects, awful at building things.
Yeah. That must be why they put flags next to holes, because it's like they can't build something to put a flag on top of.
Yeah,
so they have to put it by a hole in the ground. Yeah.
See what the problem is there's actually 1 or 2 golfers that are very good at building things, but then you end up with a crazy golf course.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you don't see so many of them. Like they're jealous. There's a jealousy between golfers and mini golfers.
Yes, I can see that. Isn't it funny? I'd love to know where golf sort of goes next, because we've got golf and then we've got mini golf, which is quite
tiny
exciting.
golf.
Tiny. It'd have to be tiny, really like minuscule golf, like playing golf with atoms.
Yeah.
But then you've got crazy golf, and like is the next step like completely bonkers golf? Like where
you
your club
is a jelly.
Yeah, that's it. It's just hitting a jelly with, like, I don't know, a dog or something. And it's just completely bananas.
Do you know if there's any other emotions in golf? Because obviously, like, there's crazy golf. Is there like happy golf? Is there?
Oh, that's I don't know. I think most golfers sort of look. Well, no, sometimes they look quite ambivalent, don't they? There's not a happy golf. I'd quite like to see a really tired golf, just exhausted golf. Where it's like, I've got to walk to the next hole. Oh, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, just barely lifts it off the ground. Yeah, taps the ball forward.
Yeah, that's quite good. Angry
falls
golf
down,
also
snores.
That's it. And the course is really short because it's like no one will get to the end of it. It's just
no bunkers, because it would be too comfortable. You'd have bunkers full of sleeping golfers if you did that.
Yes, really dangerous. And no little golf carts either, because you just use them to get everywhere and fall asleep.
Yeah. Snooze wagons, they'd be called.
I'd love that. I was going to say angry golf could be quite good, where rather than the club, you just throw the ball at things because you're livid, and then you throw the club at things. And you're just like, I don't care.
And then you punch the grass.
Yeah,
you're swinging the flag around your head.
I'd like that. I mean, I also, I think you're right. I think there's definitely a place for more emotions in golf. I also, perhaps controversially, would like to see more crazy sports. Like I love the fact that crazy golf, sometimes you have to hit it into, I don't know, like a dog's eye or something, or a windmill or whatever. And I would like that in football, for example.
Yeah. Penalty shootouts. People are asking how to make them more interesting. Wheel on a cow that goes in its mouth, poos the ball out in a random direction. Goalkeeper's like, whoa!
That is. Can you imagine how great the World Cup would be if the final penalty shootout is like into a large cow that poos the ball out in a random location? Yeah. I think, there's a lot of suspense about these shooters. People get quite tense. I think that would really solve it.
Big close up on the cow's face.
Yeah.
Are there any clues?
I think that's you see, this. I mean, all these sports could have far more interesting issues. Horse racing, for example, if there was a bit where when the horse jumped, they just sort of went down a helter skelter.
Yeah, the jockey carries the horse for a bit.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they ring a bell. Everyone on! Oh no!
It's I wonder why golf made the leap and all the other sports went. Oh, we're not going to.
No, we're not going to go crazy.
Yeah.
No, we're not going crazy gymnastics.
Crazy gymnastics can be quite crazy. So to make it crazy would have to be. I'd probably quite scary. I thought it'd get quite scary.
Yeah.
If you made gymnastics.
The best you could do is costumes, maybe. Like,
yes.
You have to be dressed as a big mascot, like you see at sports games, but doing flips. I think that's already what mascots do. Maybe there is crazy gymnastics. It's just mascots.
But we just didn't know that they were doing a professional sport all this time.
They finish the day every day.
I think what it is that you never see them sort of do like the pommel horse or what I can't remember what those rings called. Yeah, the rings. Like that's what we need to see the mascots do before a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be worried I was asleep. Like I'd be worried I'd been hit in the head by another golf ball.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Is that dog doing a flip? Oh, I've got a head.
Oh, it's my head again. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would quite like. I wonder crazy gymnastics because one of my favourite bits of gymnastics, and I've spoken to another guest about this, I think. But because I like the bit when they do all these incredible flips and then they suddenly stop and just do a little dance.
Yeah,
And I think like you could do crazy where instead of a little dance, you like recite a famous historic speech while balancing on a unicycle or something, a bit weird.
Yeah, that little dance is the same little dance that bees do when they find a flower. It's just telling other bees that they found a flower, and those gymnasts are going, "Hey, everyone, I found a flip. There's one over there."
Is?
Yeah,
so, is that what? So is that why then that gymnast goes off, and then another gymnast comes straight on because they found?
Yeah. They basically found a really bouncy bit of floor, and they're going, "Hey, everyone, come on, you have a go."
So hang on? Can I just check? Can gymnasts make honey, or is that do they not do other things like bees?
Tomato ketchup.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah. Very savoury condiments from gymnastics.
Yes, I was gonna say, but but do they live in like a hive? Do they all sort of work together, balance? Because I guess they're quite good at balancing on each other. And
So they get one very tall, thin house full of gymnasts.
Yeah.
One on top of the other,
and then the top one sort of throws down a tomato or something, and then they squeeze it. Is it? Yeah.
Squeeze it. Each squeezes it on the way down. Tomato ketchup at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean it makes perfect sense. Like I don't know why I didn't know this before.
Perfect sense to me.
It is, yeah. Wow. And I mean, here's the thing. I sort of mentioned crazy gymnastics, but it's already balmy. I think if that's what they're doing, Yeah.
I just hope they'll stop one day.
We all do. But then what would they do with their lives?
I don't know. Crazy boxing though, with like in each of the gloves.
Yes, I'd like that. Or instead of just a glove, like have a chicken on one hand and
big rubber chicken.
Yeah, big rubber chicken on one hand. I try and think what you can have on the other, but like
fish.
A sausage or something. A fish. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
So you've got a slap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, more devastating than boxing can be quite a violent sport, and I think being hit in the face with a fish is almost worse.
Oh, it definitely is worse. I mean, the only thing would be like a big insult.
You have a face like an omelette.
Oh, stop it. No, I'd rather be fighting. Stop it.
This is, I mean, it just does disgusting this, mate. I'm not, you're, I think, more of a sporty person than I am. I'm not a big fan of sports, but already I would be enticed. I'd be buying tickets to all the games if sports was this exciting.
Yeah. I think there's definitely room for it, particularly in football. I think football, of all of them, like we've said the penalty shootout, but I think we're not thinking big here. Like there's a huge, why are they playing on grass? Why not play on like custard?
Yeah, or a bouncy castle. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll keep them running. If they keep running, they can stay on top of the custard. As soon as they get lazy and stop, gone.
Brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. I just don't think they're being innovative enough in these sports.
No.
And similarly, why are they wearing trainers when they can wear roller skates?
Yes. Why is it a ball and not a blancmange?
Yeah, or a bassoon. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Or a baboon.
Or a baboon, even. I mean,
they're not kicking it; they're tickling it around the pitch. You tickle the baboon towards your goal. There you go.
And so the most skilled are those with expert tickling skills.
Yeah, there's this baboon going. Just, it sounds better.
I am absolutely in for World Cup baboon.
Yeah. I just want to see the interview as well. Just if fella comes in and goes, well, we had a good day today. The baboon he was in a good mood. I've my fingers though. I've injured my finger. I don't know how long I'll be out for. I can't tickle with the right. But the lads did great. They brought some feathers to it. They really put their all in. We're just hoping next week we get a baboon that's a little bit more, sort of stoic, because we need to keep the points up.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'd love formations to be based on who's got the longest arms.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Well, Paul, I'm so pleased you're on this podcast. For a start, I didn't expect you to give us any yodeling whatsoever, and we've already learned so much about golf and or at least how it should be. But obviously you're on this podcast. I've asked you back because of a very specific question. We'll get to that in a minute. Because before that, I have to ask you two important things. The first of which is that you might be aware that this is an audio podcast. Most of our listeners do hear it with their ears, but as I always say, if they choose to listen to it with their bums or their knees, that's fine. Like we absolutely respect that. But because it is an audio podcast, I just wondered if you have a favourite noise that you could either tell us about or preferably even make for us.
Absolutely. My favourite noise is the pop of a weasel.
Wow. Did you just... I mean, because I just saw a weasel fly at that, you just had one right there and you popped.
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt the weasel.
No, it doesn't. It's when the weasel doesn't pop, it's more of a very, very small fart.
Right, sure.
Yeah. I've given that weasel lots of lemonade, and hang on, let's see if we've got another one. Have you got another one in you? Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's It's
sorry,
superb.
I can't do any more. That is quite smelly.
Yes, you sort of disappeared behind a slightly green fog. But I am
all
pleased
right?
that Weasel's not injured. I didn't understand the mechanics of popping a weasel, and I was worried that you're sort of bursting them like a balloon, but obviously not.
No, the full old world word was bum popping a weasel, but we dropped that bit.
Right, sure, yes. I can see why. I you'd. I think it sounds nicer as just popping a weasel, but
yeah. Just pop a weasel, bum pop a weasel. No one's coming in that room.
No one wants to bump up a weasel. And is that something you've learnt to do? Did you sort of grow up as a kid, sort of finding weasels, bumping them, or is this something that anyone could pick up and do? Oh,
I mean, both are true. It's something that was handed down for generations, but really, once the veil's been lifted, once you get you get told how to do it. Really, 5 minutes, I can have you popping weasels.
Well, I mean, I might have to take you up on that. I don't have any in the vicinity, and I might have to collect some and give you a call. I feel I've really missed out on this skill. So yeah, I've tried to parp a badger, but it didn't work very well. They're quite vicious.
Very tricky.
They really.
That's some high levels. You've gone in too big.
I've gone in too big, haven't I? I should have gone for small. I should have. What should I have gone for? Sort of like.
Start with trumping a trout.
Trumping a trout. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Or sort of stomping a shrew. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
Rumble a rabbit.
Rumble a rabbit. That's a very good one. Yes. Trouser. I don't know what begins with a T.
Yeah.
Something
begins with a T.
Trouser trump. A tiny frog.
Turtle.
A turtle. That's it. Yes, definitely. That would work.
Yes.
Yeah. I can see this is obviously you work your way up. You start with the smaller creatures.
Yeah.
Badgers, obviously, sort of next level, and then eventually bear. And a whale.
Yeah, Bumbarker bear.
Bumbarker bear, which very dangerous. I'd have thought trying to do that. Yeah. I can't imagine the noise either. It's probably very. Yeah, I assume so. I assume bears make a growl noise from wherever they make a noise.
Every end.
Yeah, every end. It's always a growl. And you don't know if a bear's angry with you or just very windy. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to know which end of the bear you're looking at, don't trust the growl.
Yeah, that's it. It's about
the eyes.
It's about the smell, not the sound.
Some bears have been known to put those googly eyes on their bums to trick you.
They do that. They're really. I've always found it fascinating how bears get hold of those googly eyes and then put them all over the forest.
Yeah.
Just to sort of trick people.
It's a bear. Oh no, it's a tree with googly eyes.
It's a tree, but behind you, a bear. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's very. I don't know who handed those eyes out to bears, but they've really they've really run with that. I think.
Yeah. They've let us down. Whoever did it
has let us down. But they've really helped the bear. I mean, fair play. Bears deserve a bit of a head start sometimes, I think. Yeah. So
I just hope no other animals learn about the power of googly eyes.
It'd be quite worrying. But then some I'd quite like to see, like animals that don't, or especially little creatures that have faces, like slugs or snails. A big pair of googly eyes on a slug would make it a lot more adorable, I think.
It would make it absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Yes. Again, audio podcast, but the image. Woo!
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Same with worms. Imagine worms with two big googly eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I like it.
Yeah. So hopefully the bears will share. That's all that that's what we just hope for in a better world one day. Well, Paul, thank you for popping the weasel. I hope the weasel it looks happier now.
Yeah. And it's settled. It's going to sleep now for 8 to 12 hours.
Yes, I can imagine so. It's very sort of hollow now, and that gas seems to have dissipated, thankfully. So I hope you're feeling all right too. And listen, the other question I have to ask you, is that this is a family friendly podcast. It is suitable for every age you can possibly imagine. Really, can you imagine an age?
No.
Oh, you can't. Oh, well, that's a shame. I mean, that's quite a shame for you. But if you were able to imagine one, it would probably cover that.
Oh, I'd probably imagine something like 37.
Yeah, I mean that would do. That would do. Yeah,
I just did it.
You did it.
I did it.
I feel sad that you didn't believe in yourself there.
Yeah.
When it clearly.
Well, no, thank you for being there for me. Thank you for being there for me in this difficult time.
I'm not sure I was supportive enough, but I'm glad you got there, and maybe you'll find yourself on another day imagining ages just for fun. So yeah.
3.
He's on a roll now. He can't stop it. It. That's incredible.
I've got it. Yeah.
Well, both of those, 3 and 37, absolutely fine. This podcast is suitable for those. And just to make sure that it's suitable for them, I want to check if there's any rude words that you won't be saying.
Oh, yeah. I definitely won't be saying a very, very old rude word. Right. This is from the Tudor period. I will not be saying clatterfart.
Clatterfart. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no, don't say that, because we do have we do have some really ancient. I said any age, and obviously,
Yeah.
there are people that listen to this who have been around since the Tudor times.
Really, there's some 400-year-old people on listening.
Definitely.
Oh,
And-
I'm sorry. Then for that, I will never. I won't say clatterfart ever again for them.
Because we will get letters of goodbye, and there'll be scrolls. They'll be written.
Yeah.
They'll be hand scribed.
Beautifully
Really
drawn.
beautifully drawn, and that makes it harder to sort of ignore that. You sort of really have to read them properly.
Yeah.
Often you have to call someone in to
Yeah.
sort of blow a bugle and then read them out to you as an announcement, and it's such a hassle.
You get an email, someone saying you're a naughty boy. You get an illuminated parchment saying thou art a low knave.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm listening to that.
I mean, that's it. It's very hard to ignore those complaints, and so if you could not say clatterfart on,
I
on
won't
the
say
podcast.
clatterfart. Would you like to know what clatterfart means?
I mean, yes, but at the same time, will it mean that I get, will someone make a tapestry just to have a go at the explanation?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the danger we run. But like, all I want to do is I want to make sure people know what the word is, so that they don't use it in real life, like properly.
Sure.
Right.
Okay. I trust you.
And it's actually very pertinent to what we've talked about today, because clatterfart is an old word for somebody who's a bit of a gossip.
What? So everyone at golf clubs are clatterfarts?
Every person who plays golf is a clatterfart, but do not call any golfers clatterfarts.
Sure, but I mean, presumably it's okay as long as they're not Tudor golfers.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's obvious. You will be able to tell who the Tudor golfers are because they're over 400 years old.
Yes,
they're probably going to be playing tired golf.
Very tired golf, and I assume they wear even more ridiculous golfing trousers than normal golfers.
Huge.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a hot air balloon?
Yes.
That, but trousers.
Yes, that's what I would have imagined. Very hard to walk around, of course, especially on a windy day.
Yeah.
But
if they do clatterfart, they are going to start floating.
Well, I mean, I was going to say it's a great word, but obviously it's a terrible word, and we mustn't say it on this show. So thank you for not saying clatterfart. I won't say clatterfart, and no one listening to this will ever say clatterfart. So thank you very much for that. Right, and now Paul, the important bit, and I just realised I paused there for a minute. I got a little yodel. It was lovely, so thank you for that. But this is the question. I've called you in for this because I know you're good at this, and I'm gonna read. I'll just read it out as the whole sentence. It says, "Hi, I'm Ruby. I am 11 years old. I am in Australia now." So I assume right now. I don't know if she's always there. She might just be there at this moment.
As you read it, she's there.
Yes, but as I finish, maybe she's else.
She's gone.
She's gone. So this is very immediate. This is a really immediate question.
Right.
It says, "Hi, I am Ruby. I am 11 years old. I am in Australia now. What came first, the chicken or the egg?"
Oh,
yeah,
that's a really good question.
it is, yeah.
Now, the truth of the matter is the egg by a long way.
Right, because it's faster, right? Because it just
no, because it was mistaken for a golf ball. Someone hit it, got well ahead of the chicken. Had a little message on it saying, "Don't want to give it away, but there's a chicken coming." Very gossipy.
Wow. But how did because if you were to, and I'm not going to suggest listeners do this, but if they need to experiment, if they need to try this out, then go for it. If you were to hit an egg with a golf club, which again, I'm not suggesting they do, but they might want to see this for themselves. And I'm all for sort of, science, practicing science. It's important. If you were to hit an egg with a golf club, it would likely just go everywhere.
Yeah. It's the most efficient way of spreading gossip because it would go everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's also the most efficient way of ruining an egg, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. That egg's not having a good day.
No, it's a absolutely terrible day.
Awful day. That's finishing its day. It's like, oh, how was your day, dear? Oh, awful. Got hit with a golf club.
Terrible. Shattered. I'm shattered. Yeah, that's it. So if the egg first gets hit by a golf club, does it count? Because it's obviously not going to be in one piece.
No, but it's still bits of it are arriving first. Like,
Right.
bits of chicken. I mean, if you want to get really technical, the egg comes first because dinosaurs had eggs before there were chickens.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, hang on. Wait. Right. Now, let's get back to that in a second. Firstly, though, if we're imagining a little bit of that, is that the way, like we're talking about horse racing there, like they can win by a nose, and even if the rest of the horse had just fallen off, the nose could win. Is it the same that the egg could win because you win by like a bit of shell?
Yeah. A bit. It's as long as a bit of you has crossed the line.
Right. Sure. That's it. Yeah. Because I've often thought that about, like, I don't really want to run a marathon, but could I just sort of throw my shoe over the finish line?
That's why whenever I'm in a race, stick one of my hairs to the nose of my opponents. Whoever wins, I'm over first. Actually,
that's a brilliant idea. What a fantastic
win by a hair.
Yes, that's a very good idea. So, well, yeah, I was trying to think if there's anything else. I was just wondering if you could just sort of sit on someone else's shoulders and lean forward slightly while they're running really hard.
I was going to slow them down while they're running. I think the other people have moved faster than them with me on their back.
I haven't thought this through. I think your hair idea is considerably better. So okay, well, so hang on. There's one possibility. We've got the egg. You can win by being a piece of egg. That's fair. But you're also saying dinosaurs had eggs because I suppose they had to have stuff for breakfast as well.
Yeah. And so there weren't even any chickens around at that point. So eggs, by millions of years, precede chickens. Finally answered that question.
Yeah, that's weird. So was it just that one day an egg kind of went, I better do something in my life?
Yeah. I'm going to make some chickens.
Yeah, because there must have been a point where eggs, like, all the other eggs were pretty happy just being eggs, just keeping life as it was. And there must have one day been an upstart egg that said, hey, you guys are losers. Like, I'm going to see the world.
Actually, there's even more excitingly, there's a point where there's something that's half dinosaur, half chicken.
I wish that still existed.
Oh, yeah. Can you
Yeah.
But raw!
Yeah, I mean, it'd make farms terrifying. Wouldn't it? Little dino chickens running around. So that's pretty. So the egg definitely is older than the chicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that one definitely came first. So it's come first in a race. It's come first in time. And do you know what? It comes first in my heart. I love an egg.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big egg fan. What's your preferred egg? Sort of
chocolate
serving. Yeah, chocolate. Yeah. Yeah, but that's very sad. People don't know this, that every sort of Easter, the chocolate chicken population really declines, and that we don't. I sort of worry about that. There is going to come a point where they are extinct because we're just eating. So I myself, I'm part of the problem. I eat a lot of chocolate eggs.
Yeah.
But because in nature they lay these eggs in very sort of strange, hidden behind bushes, hidden all over a house, and that means a lot of them don't survive.
All over the house. What's even harder for them is they have to wrap them up individually in all the foil to keep them safe.
Yes, it's a lot of effort, and that's why we've got to, maybe next Easter. I'm just saying people should lay off, give them a year. What do you call it? What do you call it with farms? A fallow year. That's it. Give chocolate chickens. A year.
No chocolate eggs this year. We're having. We're going to have chocolate. I don't know. What's another? Chocolate carrots.
Yeah, there's not really other things that are similar. You'd have to go to chocolate poos, which I don't think are as good.
I genuinely have never heard of chocolate poos before.
Well, I was trying to think of something else that someone lays. That could be like instead of an egg, and the first thing that came to my head was a poo, and I thought, well, that's not great. I don't think people would want to celebrate a holiday by having a chocolate poo.
Yeah, should we go on a chocolate poo hunt? I'm all right. Yeah. No,
because you don't really lay anything else. So yeah.
I lay down. You lay bricks.
Oh, you can eat a chocolate brick. That would be quite good. That would be huge.
Chocolate brick is bigger and more like there's more in it than an egg.
Yeah, okay. I could eat a chocolate brick. I think that's.
Yeah. I'm actually going to start a thing. We should have chocolate bricks instead. Because you have chocolate bricks, you got a chocolate house. You got a chocolate house. You've got chocolate for a very long time.
Yeah. But then you live in a chocolate house. You eat the chocolate house. You haven't got you have to live outdoors.
That feels like the beginning of an old saying, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
the man who lives in a chocolate house
Shouldn't eat chocolate bricks.
chocolate bricks.
Yeah, it's a very wise saying.
What does that mean, Grandad? Clean your teeth.
It's the tale of Johnny Cadbury's and the awful day he ate his chocolate mansion and had to sleep in a pond. Yeah, it's very wise. Your chocolate eggs, obviously, but like, do you have any? Because I quite like scrambled eggs, but never unscramble them because it's like it's always a rude message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult to unscramble them. You have to have an Enigma machine.
Yeah. It's not worth the effort. And then they're cold and they're just not as tasty. So
yeah. How long did it take you to unscramble those eggs? 3 months. I had to find a U-boat.
Yeah, it's really complicated. And ultimately not really worth it. They don't.
What did the egg say? Clatterfart. Oh God!
Yeah. You said you wouldn't say
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
quick disclaimer. But Paul, I should say for listeners, Paul was in character, pretending to be someone who'd scrambled eggs, and so that doesn't count when he said it.
No. I wouldn't say clatterfart.
Yeah, I mean, what I like is that you have definitively. There's not even much umming and ahhing here. It's 100%. It's just the egg. Your answer is in every possible category. It's the egg. The chicken is a big old loser.
Yeah. That's why do you think this sounds so sad?
It's also why people, it used to be a phrase for saying someone was too scared to do something.
Yeah,
can't even win against an egg. Like,
now step up to the mark, chicken.
Yeah,
this is us calling you out, chickens. Do something.
That's it. Right, get a bit more dinosaur-y and come back.
Yeah.
Have a comeback.
Yeah. You used to be dinosaurs. Come on. Pick yourselves up.
You can do it again, chickens. We believe in you one day. It's a beautiful dream.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Paul. I mean, I don't think we've had such a definitive answer on this podcast before, and I'm very, I hope Ruby is pleased wherever she is now. She was obviously in Australia then, but I don't know where she is right now. But hopefully, somewhere cozy.
Yeah.
And I hope she's
happy
happy
to
with
bring
that.
the fact hammer. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked you here, and I appreciate you taking time in between. Your yodeling, your golfing, and obviously, take care of the weasel, and thanks again.
Thanks. Have a lovely time. Bye.
Hello, no one is available to take your call.
Thank you so much to Paul with his expert yodel tips and, of course, his amazing answer for Ruby. Tiernan, who is definitely not here this week, hopes, Ruby, that you are happy with that answer, but says if not, please do write any complaints in invisible ink on some invisible paper, and then he'll never see it. If you have a question that needs answering, a joke you'd like to tell us, or an impression of a toddler tantrum you'd like to send in to win a game of uproar, then please ask your bassoon-bogeyed flumpers, grown-ups, to help you email in to podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk, and Tiernan will reply on his return. Please also grab tickets to our live Radio Nonsense show in October at the link in the blurb or at southbankcentre.co.uk. Check out the live Comedy Club for Kids shows at comedyclubforkids.co.uk and our t-shirts and books at comedyclubforkids.store. If, however, you are in need of some immediate assistance and cannot wait until Tiernan returns, please contact Linda at lindawhereareyou.linda. Goodbye.
You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents.
Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. It's the end.